All right, joining us right now is our pal Nic Dowd from the Washington Capitals. What's up,
How we doing? How we doing, boys?
Hey, Dowd, how are you?
man.
So this is the that everybody looks forward to. It's the mentors trip on down to Florida. Who are you bringing along? Who's your companion for said trip?
Yeah. So my oldest brother Matt is my companion, mentor, however you want to call it. Usually I've brought my dad in the past, and he wasn't able to make the trip this year. So my oldest brother Matt was his first. He's pretty excited.
Very good. What does Matt Dowd do for a living?
He owns his own shipping and logistics company. So so he does a lot of. I guess you could consider him a broker, right, between companies and carriers.
Now,
So,
was he a hockey kid too growing up?
Yeah, so we grew up. I mean, you guys know us. I grew up in Alabama, so he was kind of the first that kind of got us into it. Paved the way. I have a middle brother too, and then so he played. They both played. Then I was able to play. Probably because they were into it, and so he did play growing up. Yep.
What was your second best sport?
My second best. I played everything growing up. I'd probably say baseball, soccer was probably right. And honestly, I could probably argue that I was maybe better at one of those than I was at hockey. And I think as I got older, I just enjoyed hockey a little bit more. And then when you're forced to choose, unfortunately, like most of the coaches do when you're younger, I think I just got more into hockey.
So did you do the bit then where you went to Maine or something when you're 15 or whatever kids do?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah. So, I went to Indiana, went to a boarding school, Culver Military Academy, when I was 15, when I was a sophomore in high school.
That's a big move, by the way. I know that Canadian kids or, maybe in the up Northeast, that's a big, they're maybe a little bit more used to it. But did that take a lot of convincing on your part, on your parents' part? Who made that decision for you?
Did you tell them, go see on the military stuff? I'm here to play hockey.
Right.
Less military, more skating.
Yeah. So when I went to Culver, I was a sophomore in high school, going to be a sophomore. I was still a freshman in high school. I heard about Culver, and we got connected through some friends. The Jeffreon family, their granddad and dad played in the NHL, and I played with Bryce and Sebastian growing up. They were from Nashville, so their dad already had a son there, Blake, that played there, and. But when I was a freshman in high school, I was 5'3", 110 pounds. I was on no one's radar as a hockey player at all. So I went there, and I think the thing that my dad liked was they had hard stops on their season, so you could play 3 different sports in a year. And my dad loved that, and you got a great education. My dad was big into education growing up, so it kind of fit a lot of different things. So when I went there, I was on no one's radar, and I made the JV team my first year. There's only 3 teams, varsity A, varsity B, and a JV, and I played on the JV team my sophomore year. I played on the varsity B team my junior year, and then finally, probably make or break, I made the varsity A team my senior year, and kind of took off from there under Al Clark as the head coach there. So
wow, what a journey! And then, so you just, but when you go there, your family doesn't move there, right? You go on your own.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think my mom's still pissed about that because, I took 3-4 years of being a kid under her roof. I lived there in the summers in Alabama, but it was it was a tough move. I think having kids now, I understand why, she was probably pretty bitter about that, but my dad was excited about it and came up a lot and watched a lot of hockey on the weekends.
I bet.
But it was a big move.
That's
definitely
tough. My nephew had that choice and opted not to do that.
He chose lacrosse.
Yeah, he chose lacrosse. Now he's Division I lacrosse player, but he chose not to move from his family. All right, so let's get to the last couple games. No OV.
By the way, is it true he was at a Wizards game with no crutches?
He was basically coaching the team. He was sitting 2 chairs down from the coaching
staff. If he's at the game with no crutches, let's go.
He's a bit of an animal. So.
Yeah.
So you guys, it seems like you've missed him. Talk about the last 2 games, which unfortunately have gone the other way.
Yeah, I think, and speaking to the last game against Jersey, I actually think we played really well. If you look at the details of that game, we controlled the ozone time. We had 7+ minutes of ozone puck possession in that game, right? And you guys probably we know this because our coaches break it down, and it's something that we look at analytically. But the league average, I think, is like 5.5 minutes of ozone time. And, you get above that, you get into places where statistically you're supposed to win that game. So I think New Jersey played really well. Their goalie played well. I mean, we had some chances. Unfortunately, like our penalty kill gave up a couple, which was a killer, but our power play scored and we got one 5-on-5. So I think overall we actually played pretty well. We just need to, try and continue to find opportunities to score goals. But I think if we control that ozone time and we put ourselves in, I mean, people forget, right? If you're in the ozone for a lot longer than the other team, you probably have a high chance of scoring, but also they have a low chance of scoring because you're not playing defense. So I think if we continue to do that against a good team like Florida tonight, odds will continue to be in our favor. We just got to find a way to put the puck in the back of the net.
Well, Nick, best of luck down there in Florida. You guys have an 18-9 record with the Mentors in attendance since 2008.
Ooh, nice.
So hopefully that continues against Florida and Tampa Bay. We'll talk to you again next week, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah, you too,
Same
buddy.
to you, man.